Hey guys, it's Tasha with Britches Get Stitches. Thanks for joining me. Those of you that are new and happen to stumble upon my channel, this is mostly about cross stitch. There's a little bit of sewing and stuff thrown in, just, you know, my lovely crafty ways. So it's just a fun smorgasbord of exactly what do I do for fun. And those of you that are coming back, thanks. Good to see you. Hope you've had a lovely 4 weeks. Ooh. It was going to be 3 weeks. I filmed last week, but I went back to work and things got crazy and I didn't get a chance to edit. So instead of editing a week-old video, I decided to just go ahead and make a new one. So here I am. What is it, 2 weeks out from Stitchcon? I'm sure you've heard all of the updates and everything from everybody, so you don't need a ton of stuff from me. So I'll just put that at the end so you can skip it if you want to, and we'll just kind of act like this is normal Flosstube-esque video, and I mean, because it is. And then we'll just come back to Stitchcon at the end if you want. As far as life updates, we were off for 2 weeks, off and on. Like, I was taking a couple days, Brian was taking a couple days, the grandparents taking a couple days, so that Lucy would have someone to hang out with her because our babysitter is in New York. She comes back on Monday, so this whole week Lucy's with Pop, and she's loving it. They went to a Dayton museum today and zonked out on the way home, so obviously she did a lot of running around. It's great because it lets me like focus on work, which was really difficult the last couple days, and like being a project manager, it's just a little rough not to be like mentally 100% in it. So I had another audit yesterday up in Columbus, so I did another one of those, and I'm still in my workout gear because I got back from the gym and was like, yeah, let's just film. They don't care. I don't need to do my makeup. Hey Brian. I don't need to do my makeup or anything. They don't care. It's just the other side of the screen. Y'all are like my friends. Nobody cares. But I have actually started with the healthy weight management up at the nearby hospital. And so it's just a lot of like checking in and partaking in a lot of the aspects of the program. And so there's behavioral therapy, there's the nutrition style, and there's also the workouts. And so tonight was one of the workouts that I went to and did pretty good. Pushed me pretty hard. My legs are hurting, but it's like a good hurt. So I'm glad to be getting back into working out. Like, I used to lift and everything at the gym all the time, so it's nice to get back to it. So don't mind the not pulled togetherness of this. I just wanted to give you an update. Okay, so let's go into the stitching because there's quite a bit to cover. I do have an FFO. Yay! I just finished it last night. So I had started the Little Bell by it's X Stitch Heroes on Etsy. And it was part of the Snarky and Modern exchange, and it just a smalls exchange, and it's technically supposed to be like a wordy one, but like one of the things was you doesn't have to have a word on it, just, you know, has to be small and submit or whatever. And I actually finished this at Stitchcon, so I was able to finish stitching Little Bell and ring the bell for Little Bell. And I love this. I love the, like, how the dark and the light in her hair plays. I think that's my favorite part of the whole thing, is like right in here. And that was like the last bit that I finished as well. So the artist on this did a really good job. But anyway, so I finished the stitching at Stitchcon, and then I was sitting at table 50 with a bunch of, we were all new, none of us had attended before, and 2 of us partook in the smalls exchange, and Spencer, she's at Stitching Spencer over on Instagram, she had done a hedgehog with this flat fold style finishing, and it was just adorable. And so she sent me the link to the blog, which I will put below, on how to do this finish. And I said, well, that's perfect for this. So I picked up this fabric. I was gonna go yellow, and then I was like, no, let's do like the rose look and throw in like the gold. And I think it was a good decision. I mean, I like it. I hope my person likes it. I'm gonna mail it out tomorrow. I do need to like leave it open to dry a little bit because I can like feel the glue in here is a little wet still. Smells like glue. I might spray it with some perfume. Is that weird? Anyway, so there's 4 pieces of mat board, 2 of which have batting on them for the back and the front, and then you like sandwich those in between with your ribbon. It's supposed to be of this fabric, but when I put the glue down, like the adhesive spray wasn't working, so I had to use the tacky glue, and then it just made it like, I don't know, weird. And so I was like, no, I'm not doing this weird stiff thing in between. So I just did some red ribbon that I had, and it's like spot on, good color. And so yeah, it's still drying a little bit. I just took some yellow cording around the outside, tied it up at the end, and fully finished. So this is gonna go in the mail tomorrow, and I hope my person likes it. I let her know that it was coming, because those are due to be mailed by the 30th, so a day early, woohoo! So that was a fully finished, and then I also had another finish at Stitchcon. This was one of the Mayhem starts that I had. This is Creepy Tree by Cari Buziak. I don't even know if I'm saying the name right, but that's the name of the author or the designer on the book Whimsical Cross Stitch. And so all that was left on this one was this whole branch and then all of this back stitching. Those spiders, they're cool. And I messed up on the back stitching, but you can't tell because I'm the only one who knows the pattern, and you'd have to look close to see. But I think this is so cute. Look at that, adorable. I don't know what I'm gonna do with it. I'll figure something out. I'm gonna like Pinterest something fun. I don't want to just put it in a frame and put it up. Like, it needs to be something interesting. So that's the plan. And because I'm part of the Fandom Stitching Club, which I heard about from Anna's Books and Stitches here on Flosstube, and Sarah over at I Swear I'm Stitching, I finished this and Little Belle in June, and it was like a finish of like 50 stitches or more, I think is what you needed, and this was like 70 with like all the back stitch and everything, probably closer to 100 or so, and so I was able to count those towards the June finishes challenge that we've got going on, which is really cool, because those were both started in May. I started earlier and then I finished them in June. So that's my FO. I have a hat. I decided like 2 days ago that I was gonna join the cross stitch camp run by the Colorado cross stitcher, and the prompt for June is to stitch something with a bird. And so I started and finished this Autumn Owl by Shannon Christine Designs. I love these colors, and I stuck mostly with the DMC. I did change just a little bit, so I didn't have the exact colors of the brown for the owl, so those are a little bit different color wise, but like I thought they still looked really good. So you've got like 2 different colors on the wing, well, 3 different colors if you count the stripe, but then the lighter color was supposed to be the same color as these flowers, and I just made those flowers just strictly white. And then I'm not a pink person, and so I took this, you see these purple ones here were supposed to be like a magenta, and so I just made them purple because I prefer purple. And I'm not sure if the color is coming through very well here, so I might put a picture up just to show you just a better idea of what the colors look like. It's a little bit weird lighting in here because it's evening and I've got like 3 different colored lights on, but I want you to see how pretty it is. So I'll put that picture up. So that was a Saf. again, I don't know what I'm gonna do with it. I'll take any recommendations for like little smalls, how you like fully finish your little smalls. I'd like to do something that's not just a frame. Like I want something cute. So I don't know. This is like, what is that, 2 inches maybe? 2 inches round. But anyway, so that was a finish, a start and finish. And then I worked on a bunch of different whips. Actually, because of that Fandom Stitching group, you should check it out. So this year's theme is Lord of the Rings, which I'm not really a Lord of the Rings fan. I've never read the books. I've watched maybe 2 of the movies, maybe. But it's like themed so that you have weekly and monthly and yearly challenges. Like yearly, it's like full coverage. And then weekly, there's different prompts. And so like some of the prompts, like I'll actually say the prompts as I was working on them. So the first prompt was work on something with silver in it. And so I picked up my sampler, the Springtime Blossom sampler, which was, oh, I'm blanking on where it came from. Stitches Through the Ages, I think. If I'm wrong, I'll put it on here. And so this is where I was last time on it, and I picked this because of the silver or grayish lettering would cover it. And so there's 2 different levels that you can do. You can do the 50 stitches or the 200 stitches. Well, I did not have a lot of time that night, and so I just did 50. I don't actually know this direction. This is up, yeah. So I finished off that flower. So pretty. And I'm just reminded every time that I work on this linen how much I love to work on linen. And so there's that. It's on a 40 count, like oatmeal-esque linen. It's not like there's no owner of it. It's like a Walmart linen. I just measured the count myself. That's how I know it's 40 count. Love it. So much fun. So I got a little bit of progress on that. And I'm keeping that in the forefront because it's fun to stitch on, and you never know what other prompts there's gonna be. Next was to stitch on something with hazards, and they take a clip out of the book or movie or whatever and write out, this is what it was, like Gandalf fell off the bridge, so do something with shadows. Or fire, because he fell into fire or something. I don't know. I don't remember the prompt, or that specific thing. But this next prompt was to stitch something with dangerous objects in it. And so I picked up my Greenhouse of Oddities, which is flying through releases, and I'm nowhere near close. But anyway, this is where it is now. And this is where I was last time. So I've made a bit of progress, but I picked this one because of the cactus, the Venus flytrap, all of the things inside of the greenhouse that are considered or could be considered dangerous. And I did the larger tier on this one. So I did much more than 200 stitches, but I went for the 200 stitch mark on this one. And so you can see I'm still going through the frame. I'm gonna pick this one back up probably, I want to say tonight, but probably not tonight. Yeah, because there's another one I want to work on. We'll see. It depends on when I finish this and blah, 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 because it's like 9:20 and I zoned out at 10 o'clock. We'll see. But this is where this one's at, and I'm having a lot of fun. Again, this is the 40 count linen. I actually hand dyed this one with a gray and green Rit dye, just random combination to get that color. There's not as much modeling in here as I wish there was. That kind of blended together a little bit, but I do like the overall color, and there's a little bit of shadowing that you can see coming through on that. So, and I ended up sewing on some random fabric that I had because I didn't have quite enough linen to get in, you can see, in the Q-snap, because I cut my margins a little tight. you could actually still see the line where I had to like pull out when I was telling you last time that I was off by a stitch. And so I came down on this one, and it is so hard to count because there's like 44 stitches down. I should have done, somebody, the Huga Stitcher recommended that you do like 10 stitches and then not cross your X, and then 10 and then not cross, and then you go through, or vice versa if you don't cross. However, just to mark every 10. And I could have done that, but I'm stubborn, so I didn't. Yeah, so I ended my thread here. Now I'm gonna start back over here and go over just to make sure that I meet. So, and I'm trying to get all the black in, and then I'll do some highlights, but you know me, I'm random. I'll do whatever I want. Let's see. Another prompt was the shadows one. Stitch something with shadows or fire. Was that it? Was that the one? Shadows or fire? Yes. And so I picked up Dolphin's Domaine because of the shadows on the floor. I was like, yay, of the ocean. I was like, yeah, that'll work. And so if you'll remember, I had like these 3 little triangles of blue. Here's a photo where I was last time. It wasn't very far, and this is the one with that blending in it. It's got like 5 strands going on, so it's like 3 strands of one, 2 strands of another, so it was just a little daunting, but Nicole from Stemix Stitch talked me through it, and so now I'm feeling better about it. It's still not 100%, but you know, and it's like mostly half crosses. So this is where I am now. The accordion folding is because I stitch in hand. I should probably iron that at some point. I mean, I will when I'm done, but yeah, so this is what I had last time, and so I added like 70-ish stitches onto that one. So it's getting there. It's not really taking shape much because I've still just only done the blue. So little by little, that's coming. Another one was to stitch on something that is a gorgeous view or a beautiful view or whatnot. And so I picked up It's a Sure Things. Like I said, this last time, this was really calling to me. I really want to get some work on this. I mean, this is my oldest whip. So it would be nice to get some more work on it. And so I picked this one up because obviously lighthouses, ocean, you know, landscape, it's pretty. And so this is where I was last time on it. I did quite a bit more than the required 50. I did quite a bit more than the required 200 stitches. I put in probably close to 400 stitches on this. And it's looking great. Like I finished up in here and I did this entire brown area. I'm still avoiding all of this white because white. But I love it. It's really coming together. I mean, this is the bottom here, so there's not much down, you know, further down to go. And then it's just a lot of like confetti fill-in in here. I've got to do the little house here. There's a little bit more on the lighthouse that needs done, but yeah, I like it. Coming together. I don't know what I'm gonna do with it. I never know what I'm gonna do with it. I don't know why I say that every time. I never know what I'm gonna do with it. And then the final whip, is it the final whip that I worked on? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes, I can count. The final whip was the spring Saltbox, and this is for the Saltbox Solstice Sal that the New Hampshire Stitcher is running. Lauren over there. Lauren's actually finished her blue house. I think Cross Stitch Kate, she did both of them. No. Reverse. Kate only did the one. Lauren did both, but she didn't do Polaroid style. She just did the 3 lines of white around the outside. I'm gonna do the Polaroid style. My plan is to do 1 each year. So I'm gonna make this a 2-year long sal just for me because I just find that enjoyable. And so I'm doing this blue one this year, and then I will do this one next spring. So I'm almost done with this, and then I will switch over to the summer, and I'll pick one of the summer houses and do that. But anyway, this is where I was last time, not very far. I had a couple little like stars in, I believe, or some of the little flowers in, and I made a ton of progress on that. I'm gonna take this needle minder off because it's really big and I don't wanna cover up anything. So this is where I am. I did quite a bit more stitching. And so the prompt for this one that pulled this one out is to stitch something with a doorway or a gateway. And so obviously a door has a house has a door. And so I picked that one, and it's really pretty. I'm using called for DMC. I'm totally forgetting to tell you any of this, but unless I say otherwise, it's DMC because that's just what I go for. Yeah, I'm really liking how this looks. It's very pretty. I like how the colors mix. It was so satisfying to finish this grass in here. And I'm actually gonna use this for this week's prompts as well. So I used it for last week's prompts. I'm using it for this week's because this week there's, the prompt is to do something that has like a mirror image. And so if you take a look at these two flowers, that's a mirror image. So I'm gonna do that one so that maybe I can get more of this Polaroid done, and then just some of the stars going on there. And so this is also on one of those 40 count linens, but this one I actually coffee dyed. A little harder to see because it's not been ironed, but if you get it right, you can see some of the brown in there. And I did that because when I first stitched the white on, you couldn't even tell that I had stitched anything. And so now that I've got that coffee dye on there, you can really tell it really stands out. So I'm glad I did that. So I'm gonna keep on working on that. I keep telling you I'm gonna work on things tonight, but I'm not gonna work on this tonight. It's going on like 9:26. So that's not happening, but a girl can dream. So those were my whips. I did have one new start, and that was Welcome to the North Pole, which is Primrose Cottage Stitches. They're doing the Sal where they're not releasing, obviously, the whole thing is released, but you stitch the top part in June, then July, August, September, blah, blah, blah. This is the pattern that I want to work on because I want to try to get June done. I'm not anywhere near close. And this is a 20 count. It's one of those 20 count Zweigarts oatmeal colored from Hobby Lobby. So I've just got, and it was like one of the sale things. It was like I got a bunch of them at a garage sale. Anyway, so I've just got a few of the bows going on there. So I want to get more done on this. So if I'm gonna pick anything up, it's gonna be this. So that was my new start. Let's see. I can move into haul, and then I will go into plans, and then Stitchcon. So as far as my haul, I sewed a new bag. It's like, really? That's a cat claw. One of them lost a claw or shed part of it. It's the same like fabric as my other one that I've got in that bag. No, I think it's upstairs. But it's a little narrower just because I didn't have a lot of this patchwork fabric left. So I made another one to have on hand. And then fabric. You guys, I posted this on Instagram and I cannot stop looking at this piece of fabric. Missy, 2 Needles Pulling Thread, I know you said you need to get a piece of this fabric, and I agree. So go on over to Jackson Fabric Arts and pick up the arches. This is gorgeous. Like, look how this just flows. Oh my gosh, this is, I can't stop touching or looking at this fabric. And it's funny, it looks like brownish on there. There's some definite pink overtones across this entire thing. That can't just be my eyes. Like, this is gorgeous fabric. It's a 32 count. I got it over on Etsy, and I also set this little swatch of purple. This one is called Antwerp. So if you're liking some purple, want to go check that one out. It's 100% organic hemp, and this was recommended by, oh no, I'm gonna put the her Flosstube name below because I cannot remember, but over on Instagram it's Liz2130, something like that. She recommended on her most recent Flosstube, and I like instantly ran over and picked it up. So love. In addition, I dyed more of those linens, and so I took some eggplant and gray, and or not eggplant, this one, because the other one was eggplant. This one I think is just like straight up violet or whatever. But anyway, I took that and mixed it with the gray to get like the bottom layer, and then I took it outside and I laid it down on one of our tables out there, glass table, and I just like sprayed some of that gray on top, so you can see there's some areas in the lighter where it like comes in gray, like the gray is just really prominent. I love this, love it. It looks so cool. So I'm gonna be using this for my restart on the It's Halloween, which Michelle over Should Crafter, she started that as like restarted as well when she saw that I had done it. I messed up on some of my colors and sizing and stuff, so I'm gonna take that out so I can reuse that Ada, and I'm gonna put it on one of these pieces. So here's the other one. Again, I did the same thing. The gray purple base, and then splattered on the gray. Turned out well. Really like how that turned out. I don't know what I'm gonna do with the other one, the second one, but I'm sure I'll find a pattern. I mean, there's no shortage of patterns. And then Heaven and Earth Designs was doing, or is still doing, a sale. Hopefully I can get this up and you guys can all see it, but they're still doing a sale, and so I bought a few patterns. So I bought Dawn of Victory, which I have had my eye on for months, and it's like half the price I've normally seen it. So I picked that up like instantly. And then I also picked up Mini Witchwood for obvious reasons. Look at the cats, look at the train, magic, love it. So I grabbed that one, and then I got Mini St. Nicholas. I was really drawn to this pattern. It's very pretty, and this is one I will definitely frame. And then the last one I got I got two more. I got All Hallows Eve. I actually got that one on eBay at a bid, an auction. I won. So I got that one, but then the other one I got at the Haid sale is this Santorini. Oh, I love this one. I love the colors on it. I've always wanted to go to Santorini, just like personal reasons from things I've learned about it. I'm not going to go into detail. You can look up the island all yourself if you want to, but I've always wanted to go to Santorini, and so this is just, it's gorgeous. I love it. Beautiful. So those were purchases and haul and fabric and bags and blah blah blah. Plans. I want to continue on with the Fandom Stitching prompts and try to get those all covered and taken care of. They're also doing a Ringo, which is like Lord of the Rings, but Whipgo bingo style. And if you get a Ringo, then you get extra points for your team or something. So I'm gonna do like as many of the challenges and stuff on there as I can, because it's been a lot of fun. And then I also want to try to FFO the two bags that I was gonna make. The one for Count It All Joy by Cross Stitch Joe, and then the other one for the gnome pattern, the Hanging with My Gnomies. I actually might just take the canvas bag that's down there and cut out like a frame style, or I might just applique. Maybe I'll just applique it on with like a border. That would be easier. I might do that. So I want to get those two done, and then I mean we'll just see whatever else happens. Yeah. Okay. I still have a tickle in my throat from talking so much at Stitchcon. So I guess I should go ahead and tell you about Stitchcon. Again, feel free to skip if you've heard enough of anybody. But I had the best time ever. It was so much fun. It was hilarious because that morning that they started, I had told my husband, you know, we start at 10, and so we were gonna go get breakfast, and because that was his day to watch Lucy, and I would just, you know, get there at 10 or whatever, and I was in the middle of breakfast. He's like, oh, you're gonna have to run. I said, no, it's okay, like it starts at 10, but I'm sure it'll take like an hour or whatever for people to go in, and like opening ceremony and stuff isn't until 7 o'clock. And he was like, you're getting there at 10, but it doesn't start till 7 p.m. I said, yeah. And he was like, well, what are you gonna do? I said, stitch. That's it. We're gonna sit there and stitch and talk to people, and like people are rolling in all day. So like some people didn't get there till like 2, 3, 4 o'clock. I got my seat and I've been stitching for hours. It's great. I love it. I had such a great time. Our table was amazing. I loved every single person. We have been talking since Stitchcon, which is great. I'm still in contact with everybody, which is I love. I'm such a people person, and I sat at one of the most entertaining tables. Hey, table 50, how goes it? Every single individual there was so nice and welcoming, and I have never been in a group as kind and just empathetic and welcoming as those 300 stitchers that I walked into that room with. So great. Just my soul needed that, and I had a ton of fun. Obviously I finished 2 patterns. Sorry, the cats are playing with toys. And made good progress on the Saltbox Sal, and I will be going back next year. That was so much fun, and we raised, ended up both weekends at a total raised of $30,000, and Keepsakes upped that, put in an extra 5, so it was $35,000 that we raised for the service project there, which was just awesome. Loved it. I actually bought the service project or service pattern, so this was $10, and all proceeds go to the charity that we did. So yeah, it was just tons of fun, and I got to meet everybody. You know, Alicia, Fanciful Flamingo, got there, and she just came over and hugged me, and it was amazing. I got to meet Missy and Kathy from 2 Needles Pulling Thread. I actually got a needle minder from them, I believe. Yep. I thought that was really cute. Who else? Oh, Crafty Cara, both Cara and Alicia from Fanciful Flamingo, they had projects that they wanted their friends from Stitchcon to stitch on, and both of them asked me to stitch on their projects, which was like, I couldn't believe it. Me, little old me, like I started my Flosstube in January, like y'all don't even know who I am, and you want me to be a part of it? Like, I have made such strong friendships just through cross stitching. It's crazy. I'm blown away. I don't have words. Like I do not have words. Amazing. So Crafty Cara was there, and she was at the late night stitching a lot, as well as Barbara from Stitching with Grammy. So welcoming. I give her some of my favorite coffee from the area. I told her I was gonna bring her some because we were Zooming the like weekend before or whatnot leading up to it, which was really cool. And then Pixie, I was sitting in the middle of the late night stitching and I was talking to Barbara and Cara just about how we were kind of like geeking out and fangirling over Pam and Steph, and I told them the first time that I went to Keepsakes just to stitch over lunch, and I was sitting there stitching while Steph was just over taking orders and stuff, and I'm totally geeking out when I'm sitting here like, oh my gosh, she's right there. I'm talking to her like we're like co-workers, like what? Anyway, so I was telling that story, and then all of a sudden the woman next to me goes, oh, I know who you are, I watch you on Flosstube. And I'm like, oh great, thanks. And she goes, I'm Pixie. And I was like, what? You're amazing, you watch me? And so it was really cool because it was like, it was just a group of people stitching, like just a big group of friends stitching. And I can't even describe it. It was so much fun. It was like Flosstube kind of went away, and everybody was just like normal people just sitting next to each other stitching at 3 a.m. like okay. Oh my gosh. And then I was talking to Kirsty, Pixie, and at the Smalls Exchange, she's like, oh, I really want to meet the 20-minute stitcher, you know, Heather. And all of a sudden this woman just comes, scoots her up right next to her and goes, hi. And they look at each other and I'm like, oh, you're the 20-minute stitcher. Oh, you're Pixie. You know, it was cute. Nancy, Disorderly Stitcher, thank you so much for being so welcoming. And she treated me like we see each other every day. It was great. So much respect for that woman. Missy, I mean, within 20 minutes of me being there, Missy walks over and gives me a big hug. So great to meet her in person. We've been on Zooms before, so it was really, really cool to, you know, break out of that screen and meet in person. And Kathy was there as well. I met, OG Stitchery, obviously Pam and Steph. Pam's taller than I thought. I've never actually met her in person until Stitchcon. Like, I'd seen Steph before, but I hadn't met Pam before. She's taller than I thought. I don't know, that was just a random fact. But let's see, I rang the bell twice, met a ton of people. I got a few things off of the freebie table. I got this from one of my table mates, Stitch to My Lou, Laura. She had that left over and was gonna put it on the freebie table, and I snagged it. I got this long dog sampler that I can do for our anniversary. There was a free pattern that Hello from Liz Matthews would put up there for anybody. Use whatever color you want, pardon me, any color you want on that. There were a couple of these Athenas from Satsuma Street up on the table, so I grabbed one. I thought this was really cute. She Wish Designs Briar Rose. I thought that was cute, so I snagged that. And then Cottage Garden Sablings, the ferret was up there. Look how cute he is. I had to snag him, so I did. Let's see. This Starflower sampler caught my eye, so I picked that one up. One of my table mates saw this and was like, oh, if you've never done a lavender and lace, you have to. And so this was Levi, like, grabbed this off the table and was like, here, you have to do this. And so I took that home. This I'm gonna do for a friend of mine, good friend sampler, send that to her. Then same friend, her son's name was Brooklyn, and so I'm gonna stitch that up for her and send that over. And then just a couple other ones that I ended up going back for because I looked at them a few times. This sampler, it's a collection of samplers. There's a bunch of different ones on there. And then this is Threads of Time sampler by Sally Ann Designs. I thought that was cute. So I picked that up. And then last thing was somebody had put this fabric, which look at that fabric. They put it on the freebie table, and I was like, immediately snagging that. I'm sure I've got something gorgeous to put on that. Yes. And then there were just people that were handing stuff out all weekend. There was one lady, the Fad Needlework was handing out this design. There's 2 designs on there actually for Stitchcon. There were needle minders galore. One lady took like a bunch of photos from her hometown and made them into little needle minders. And I thought that was a really cute idea. And then little like project cards with like sticky. So this is meant like you put all your information on here and then you like stick it to the back of your project when you hang it. Some of them were given out the 2-inch square ones, which are like, it helps you set your margins on your ends. Here's one from Crafty Cara. There were, you know, Wilson's 3D designs, 3D printed. Tiffany had these. Michelle, who was also on a previous Zoom, Michelle Lee Quilts, she was on a Zoom with me and Missy, me and Barbara and a couple other people, and she had these needle minders that she made. They're just like the buttons with the flat. I saw her making them. They were really cool. Needle minders galore, man. This one, more floss drops, more, you know, bling, a couple counting pins and floss wax, like just tons of stuff. Oh, and then somebody had crocheted this up. I think it was crochet, little lace, like bookmarks, which was really pretty. And then Honeybee Stitchery, Jennifer, over on Instagram and Etsy, check out her shop. She has been wanting to do a floss tube for a while, and I said, well, let's just break the ice and do one with me. And I couldn't get YouTube Live to work, and so we did it on Instagram. So pop over on Instagram, take a look at my video with her, my live, and give her all the love, and look out for her name and face here on YouTube, on Flosstube. I would love to see some of her projects and stuff. So give her some thumbs up over there. And then I also took part in the swap, and so my swap was that vanilla espresso pattern that I did, and I had turned it into a coffee sleeve, and it worked out perfect because the woman who got mine, so my name's Tasha, her name was Tasha. I made something with coffee, and her Instagram handle is Caffeine and Cross Stitch. Perfect. So she got mine, loved it. It made me feel great. And then I got this adorable piece from Indie Stitcher Karen. Look how gorgeous that is, guys. And not to mention the finish, like the stitching itself is beautiful, but this finish, like these buttons and the ribbon and this backing on here. And this is like a basket top, I believe. Like, that's a cute idea. Never would have thought of that. This is going on my mantle when it winter comes out. But she had also included a scissor fob, as well as a needle minder and a some counting pins on a felt ball. So stinking cute. Blown away by the generosity and the kindness of everybody at Stitchcon. It was everything. And I can't not wait to go back next year. Probably also to Weekend B, because it was fun. And everybody that's at Weekend B keeps saying they're gonna go back to Weekend B, and I wanna go back with all of them. So that's the plan. Yeah. So if you've stuck around this long, thank you. I appreciate it. Cross stitch stuff is done. Yeah, because I haven't looked at my TBS list in a while. So I don't have one of those to share. But I will share a picture off of Brian's wall. The little donut hole saying, Mama. Isn't that cute? I love it. And then my language is just some Spanish that, because that's easier for me. And so my phrase is, estoy cansado, pero la fin de semana de Stitchcon estuvo exactamente que lo necesito. I'm tired, but Stitchcon weekend was exactly what I needed. Gracias. Thank you. And have a great rest of your week. Bye.